This is a day we celebrate, first and foremost, the Toronto Raptors, giving them props, especially Kawhi Leonard, who's been challenged and questioned and doubted for the past year or so, going out there and leading the Toronto Raptors to the first championship in the nation's basketball history, which dates back to 1995. That was my first year on the NBA beat, and it was the Raptors' first year in the NBA. But I also want to give some props to my man, Rob Parker, my partner. He's trying to act like he's sleeping up in here. He about to get it. But I'm going to give him some props. He was right. He predicted the Raptors in 6. He wants to stick out his chest and say, no KD, no title.
That's right.
No, hold on.
I'm awake now.
No.
I'm awake now.
Just like you got your 8-minute spiel, I get my 8-minute spiel. Look, Kevin Durant is the Warriors' best player, and I've been saying that for the past few years. I mean, me and everybody else. Nobody's disputed that. But I do contend that even without Kevin Durant, the Warriors could have won the championship this year had Klay Thompson been healthy. Had Kevon Looney, not even the rest of them, but just Klay. But just to remind you of some of the other injuries, Kevon Looney playing with a football injury, a fracture in his chest. DeMarcus Cousins getting 2 inches off the ground because he's coming back from an Achilles injury and a quad tear. Andre Iguodala battling, already old, 35 years old, 1 year away from retirement, battling through calf injuries. And that's what Steph Curry had to go to war with. And we're killing him. Or I should say Rob is killing him. And for those of you that just might be tuning in to the Odd Couple, Rob Parker feeling himself today, head huge. It took 6 of us to push him through the door because his head is so big today. He went off for 8 minutes about how Steph Curry is not, quote unquote, that guy. Okay? Whatever that means. I guess James Harden, who Rob called the best player in the world, is that guy, even though he's never been to the finals. Okay? But let me set the record straight. Let me set the record straight on Steph Curry. And then you can try to respond, Mr. Parker. First and foremost, there is this narrative that Steph Curry doesn't get it done in the NBA Finals. But here are the facts. And let me tell you something. Broussard does not bring feelings to a fact fight. I bring truth. And here's the truth. Steph's been in 5 NBA Finals. 3 times he's led the Warriors in scoring. Steph Curry, in 28 finals games, he averages 26.5 points a game. More than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's finals average. More than Kobe Bryant's finals average. More than Larry Bird's finals average. More than Magic Johnson's finals average. More than Dwayne Wade's finals average. Oh, but he doesn't show up. How about last year when Kevin Durant was the MVP? In the last 2 games of the 4-game sweep, guess who was the leading scorer? Not Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. 31 points a game to Durant's 26. And there was a little dispute. I agree that Durant should have been the MVP. But there was a little dispute because some thought it should have been Steph. In 2015, because you want to say he don't have a finals MVP, he don't show up. In 2015, he should have been the finals MVP. He averaged 26 points a game, 10 points more than his nearest teammate. 10. Not 2, not 3, not 4, 10. All right? In the pivotal game 5 to break a 2-2 tie. He drops 37 points, 7 of them from three-point land on the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. And don't try to dispel the 2015 finals that he led them to because, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were hurt. Well, are we taking away Isaiah Thomas's first championship in Detroit when Magic Johnson only played 75 minutes in the series because of an injury? When Byron Scott sat out the whole series because of injury? Are we taking away the Raptors title this year because the Warriors were so injury depleted? No. So stop ripping on Steph. And here's the deal, folks. Nobody save the GOAT, Michael Jordan, could stand up to the scrutiny of today, where we have debate shows and we debate every single possession. All right? We didn't have that in the 80s. We didn't have that in the 90s. We didn't have that in the early 2000s. So all we remember are the good things. You know, so we're going to jump on Steph for averaging 30 points in the finals because he missed a 30-foot shot at the end of the game. So let me show you how the legends, and I'm not dissing the legends because they are legends, and they are greats, and they are heroes of mine. But let's see how they would stand up under the scrutiny today. Rob Parker likes to jump on Steph Curry because, his team gave up a 3-1 lead, the only team in NBA history to lose the finals after leading 3-1. Well, Magic Johnson, with a healthy and a prime Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, got swept in the finals in 1983. Well, I tell you what, as much as I'd hate to give up a 3-1 lead, I would hate even more to be swept. All right? So, Magic the next year, 1984, he dribbled out the clock. Best point guard ever. Dribbled out the clock. Threw away a bad pass, 5-foot pass to James Worthy. Threw it away. They called him Tragic Johnson. But he's a legend. He's the best point guard ever. My point is, a few foibles don't tear away your legacy. You can't rip away Magic Johnson's legacy because he had some bad moments. Isaiah Thomas, who is the second greatest small player of all time behind Steph Curry. Rob wants to ignore all this, but in Isaiah Thomas's first trip to the finals, 1988, he scored less than 15 points in 4 of the 7 games. He had one great game. He scored 43 in Game 6. That's the famed 25-point third quarter on a bad ankle. But take away that game, and in the other 6, he averaged 14 points. Twice he scored 10 points. How'd he follow up the 43-point Game 6? He shot 4 for 12 and scored 10 points in Game 7. But we're not going to rip Isaiah Thomas. We're not going to take away his legacy. We're not going to take away his greatness because he messed up a few times. The year before, they would have probably got to the finals, but he threw a bad pass at the end of the game that Larry Bird stole. So are we going to say Isaiah Thomas is not as great as he really is because he had a few foibles? No. So why are we ripping Steph Curry? Think about this, folks. Think about it. He averaged 30 points in the finals. He was going to war with Quinn Cook, Alfonso McKinney, neither of whom was drafted. Boogie Cousins on a bad legs and heels. And we going to rip him because he didn't beat the Raptors? Come on now. Let's be fair about this. Steph Curry is a top 20 player of all time. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Steph Curry is the second greatest point guard of all time. Now, I'll admit, he has yet to take over a finals. And we'll see if he does that. He's still got time. But he has been very good in the finals. And you can't take that away with your little rant, Mr. Parker. Mike should be dropped.
On what?
Thank you.
On meaningless
Thank you.
numbers. This is who you are, Chris. They're
Meaningless.
because the two numbers,
Meaningless.
the two numbers you refuse to talk about are the two big zeros that Steph Curry has, which is 0 MVP finals. All right, he hasn't been the finals
got 2
MVP.
in the league.
No, I'm talking about the finals. He's 0.
But he's got 2
and
in
for
the
all
league.
the shots you talk about, he's 0 for 8 when the game really matters in the postseason. You need a big shot.
No.
He's 0 for 8
The game
with
matters
20
for
seconds
48
left.
minutes.
No, it does.
It don't matter for 4
seconds. And here's the other thing. You talk about all the injuries. The bottom line is, despite everything that went on last night, Steph Curry stood up and had a chance to be the hero, to be the player you keep pretending he is with fraudulent numbers. All he has to do is knock down a meaningful
30-footer.
That's what he does. You told me he changed the damn game.
He did.
But he can't make a 30-footer when it matters. So he didn't change the game.
Name one
now you're
person
saying,
that on
I don't
demand
wanna,
can make a 30-footer.
That's what
Name
he's
one.
supposed
Name
to be
one.
about.
Name
and
one.
you know what? He couldn't do it. So you could talk about all the other stuff. Steph Curry could have changed that series, changed the narrative about him. He could have made his legend even bigger by making that shot, Chris, and he didn't make it. He doesn't make those shots, and that's the issue I have.
He just made
you
a
could
shot
talk
the
about
game before.
The 30
he made
points
the
are empty.
Shot.
You keep talking about the same. Those are empty shots.
He
empty,
made the game
all those
time,
numbers.
The game before, game 5.
No, we're
he
talking
made the
about.
Game, hold on.
We're talking about.
Hold on. You said he never made a big shot.
I'm talking.
He tied it with a 3 in game 5 in Toronto.
With 20 seconds left, and he could have won the game with 10 seconds left. He could have won the game, changed the course. Had he won that game, gone to Toronto, had a big game, and win that, people would look at him differently to say, look, all these guys are hurt. He raised up his level. He was able to win a championship without having all his pieces. He's one of those guys that need everything to be right in order for him to win.
Everything wasn't right in
and that's
2015.
the only way. That's the only thing that works for him.
Hold on. Okay.
And that's why he doesn't have an MVP, Chris. You can poo-poo it all you want. Name me another great guy who's won multiple championships who doesn't have a Finals MVP. We just had Kawhi did it twice with 2 different teams. Kawhi did it twice. Steph is that great, but he's never won a Finals MVP.
Dwayne Wade
never won a
Finals MVP.
Unbelievable.
How is that unbelievable? First of all, the Finals MVP, this isn't the measure of greatness.
No, but I'm just asking you, how come he doesn't have one?
Trophy.
How come he has 0? That's the number.
How come
he has a big fat 0.
2 league MVPs.
I'm talking about during the we always talk about this. Chris, you say this all the time, and now you're backing down.
No, I ain't backing down.
Yeah, you
backing
always
down from
say.
What?
You say when you talk about somebody being the greatest, the playoffs. You have to do it in the playoffs. When did I say he
was the greatest?
But I'm just talking about when you talk about greatness, it's about the playoffs.
Is he not great?
And I'm telling you,
is he not great?
When it comes to playoffs and the big moments and big games,
he just averaged 30.
He doesn't do it. The 30 points are empty. They're hollow.
Okay,
They're hollow.
So I guess
I don't care about empty stats. Stop it.
I guess only
when I want to see them make the shot when they need it.
So the first 47 minutes of the game don't matter.
No. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
If he doesn't make that shot,
it doesn't matter.
He's supposed to be
that.
He's supposed to be that good.
The first 47
he's not that good.
Minutes
he's not
of
that
the
guy.
NBA game
he
don't
is
matter.
not that guy.
So now he's not even that good.
I said he's not that guy. He's not the guy that you're.
What is that guy? What is that?
That guy.
Is he not a top 20 player of all time?
That guy who can make a shot to win it
is
when
he
it
a top
matters.
20 player of all time?
I was in Cleveland when Michael Jordan made that shot to advance.
Who said he was Michael Jordan?
He's not. He's not at that caliber.
I know he's not. Who said he was?
I didn't say you said. I'm saying.
Is he a top 20
player? That's the guy I'm talking about.
Is he a top 20
Maybe
player?
top 25 or something. I'd have
is
to
he a
take
top
a look.
20?
I'd have to take a look at my list. I don't have it in front of me.
Is Charles Barkley a top 20?
I don't have.
Is Charles Barkley in your top 20?
Charles was probably in my top 20.
And Steph Curry's not better than Charles Barkley?
I just think Steph needs more help than most people. That's all.
Most people?
Yeah. I just this was his chance.
Like who?
Chris, this is the way. This is
Will Chamberlain played 4 years with Elgin Baylor and Jerry West and won 1 ring.
This is
Steph won 3.
I want you to go back.
Already.
I want you to go back to your narrative about that KD was a luxury and they didn't need him. They went back to 2015. That is not true. They need
we don't
him.
know.
That's why Steph begged him to come to the team. Him and Draymond.
But they could have won it without him.
Because they could never win. They knew it. When they
already
choked
did
down.
it.
When they choked it down.
How many did KD
and Steph
win?
is the author of the biggest choke in NBA history. Steph is the guy.
I wouldn't say that. I'd rather give up a 3-1 lead than
no, you
get
would
swept.
not. It's
yes,
never happened.
Because I'm competitive in 3-1.
It's never happened. 3-1 choke job. That's what Steph. When I think of Steph's career, I think of that.
That's sad. Rob, let me ask you this: How many championships has Kevin Durant won without Steph?
What do you mean?
Why
it's
you
the other
stuttering?
way around.
Why you stuttering? Okay, ask me the question.
How many has Steph won without KD?
1.
And how many has he lost?
2.
Okay.
How many has KD won without Steph?
He was in 1
Stop
and he
stuttering.
lost 1.
How many has he won without Steph?
But he didn't.
How many has he won without Steph?
It was him. He won
Why
them.
you stuttering?
That's why he's the MVP, and that's why
Answer
Steph
my
not.
question.
I answered it. I told you. He
What's
was
the
in
answer?
1 and lost 1 and lost the 1. He lost the 1.
How many finals has he won?
He lost 1 final. I just said it.
How many?
He lost 1.
I want a number.
He lost 1.
A numeral.
He lost 1.
0.
And how many?
877-99
And how many has Steph Curry won without KD?
1.
He had one.
One is
not
better
since
than
Steph.
really?
Not since KD got there. Not since he got there.
Rob,
he would have one championship.
You're losing your mind.
He'd have 1 championship without KD.
Okay,
Everybody
and KD
knows
would have how many without Steph? 0.
No, because he would have gone to another team and he still would have
done what?
He would have helped that team. He could have gone to Toronto.
He would have
and
had somebody better than Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka and
he could have won there because we see what happens when you add him.
877-99 on Fox.
Get off that Steph thing. He ain't that guy.
Can you let me give out the number? You had your chance and you blew it. You had all the ammunition
I
today
ain't
and I
blown
slaughtered
nothing.
you.
No, you didn't.
877.
Ain't nobody listening to that.
We gonna see. Call
numbers,
up.
padding, stat padding.
Dang, man. Can I give out the number? 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369.
Trying to peddle at a
Call
guy who's
on
got
up.
stats
Steph,
rather than winning Finals MVP.
Is he overrated?
He's so great he can't win a Finals MVP. Andre Iguodala has one. Andre Iguodala. Steph has none. 0. You see that? 0. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.